the God who didn't forget anything. Creation in its core sense cannot be output. If creation were output, it would imply lack. It would imply that something was missing, overlooked, or unfinished. It would quietly suggest that God forgot something and had to correct it later. That assumption is the birthplace of the entire ego thought system. Output always implies improvement. Create this and it will be better. Acquire that and you will feel whole. Achieve this title, secure this relationship, build this identity, and completeness will finally arrive. The logic sounds reasonable only if lack is assumed to be real. Once lack is accepted, more becomes holy. More knowledge, more productivity, more content, more meaning layered onto a meaningless world. The mind begins manufacturing endlessly, not because creation is happening, but because fear is trying to resolve itself through accumulation. This is how the world becomes a factory of photocopies. A copy of a copy of a copy. Each generation further removed from the original until no one remembers what the original even looked like. At that point, everything looks the same. Not because it is identical, but because perception has flattened into sameness through repetition. The ego mistakes repetition for reality. It mistakes volume for truth. It mistakes sorting for wisdom. A story helps reveal the error. Imagine a vast warehouse filled with millions of identical pages pouring off machines at full speed. Workers are hired not to create, but to sort. One person is assigned to find a single letter all day long, another to separate one shade of white from another shade of white. The work feels absurd, yet necessary, because no one questions the premise that the pile must exist. No one stops the machines. No one asks why the pages are being produced at all. The laborers grow tired, resentful, and proud of their sorting skills. Entire hierarchies emerge around efficiency, curation, and optimization. The madness is normalized because the origin of the madness is never questioned. This is the world the ego made. A world that produces endlessly and then congratulates itself for learning how to organize the debris. Digital culture accelerates this illusion by making output nearly free. The cost is no longer production, but attention. Sorting becomes a virtue. Curation becomes an identity. Yet nothing essential is ever found because nothing essential was ever lost. A Course in Miracles makes a radical correction here. Creation is not production. Creation is extension. It does not respond to lack because lack does not exist in truth. God did not create in order to fix, improve, or complete anything. Creation did not happen in time and does not unfold in stages. Nothing is added because nothing is missing. Nothing is refined because nothing is flawed. The ego cannot understand this, so it substitutes making for being. It substitutes output for extension. It substitutes effort for remembrance. From this confusion arises the most dangerous word in the modern spiritual and cultural vocabulary: need. I need a world. I need a body. I need a purpose. I need to produce less. I need to produce better. Need always presupposes absence, and absence is the ego's proof that separation is real. But creation does not answer need. It reveals fullness. It does not generate more. It reveals what already is. The moment this is seen, the factory grows quiet. The machines stop on their own. The piles no longer matter. There is nothing left to sort because there was never anything missing to find. This is not a call to make less or curate better. It is a call to question the premise that anything needs to be made at all. When that premise dissolves, effort dissolves with it. What remains is not silence as absence, but silence as recognition. A recognition that creation never left its source. A recognition that God did not forget anything, and neither did creation.